And now the brother went back into the corridor of his room, and he's been praying for days, for weeks, and like that, until he felt that after everything is over now. And then at that particular time, at a point in time, 3 of those brothers, they came back on board, and they went to the scholar in question, and they went to him and they asked him about their sister, and he wept and wept. Weeping meaning that he has not actually repented. He was still willing to cover for his misdoing, and he was weeping and said, your sister is dead. And he took them and he showed them the grave of the sister, and the 3 of the brothers, they wept to themselves. They felt, well, it's not the brother's fault. The sister is dead. That is one of the qadar of Allah. And they all went back to their home. And now Shayton is now ready to unfold the greatest of the plan. And that was where it was actually going from inception. He went to the dream of the 3 brothers, and the 3 of them woke up in the morning seeing the same dream. The same dream that their sister gave birth and was buried. He revealed everything that happened to them in their dream. And the 3 of the brothers were disputing. The elderly one said, either mina shayton. This kind of a dream, I think, is a plot from Shayton. But the 2 other brothers felt, no, it is not the case. I think we need to make sure that we get to the root of the particular matter in question. And eventually, the elder brother considered, and the 3 of them went to the alim in question. And they told him that we needed to see the grave of our sister. And they took him to the grave of the sister. They dug the grave, and they saw the sister and the child that were buried together in that particular grave. The scholar in question is exposed, and then they drag him in the city, and it was a big noise all around. And these are some of those things that Shayton targets. One of the primary targets of Shayton is not just to target the ordinary people. It targets people who are well known for righteousness, so that by the time it destroys them, a couple of people that are following them too will eventually revert and say, no, if so person that will revert so much is doing this kind of things, then I don't see any reason why we should do things like that. So if Shayton is able to destroy those prominent and eminent people, at the end of the day, will have succeeded in destroying thousands of people. And these are some of the antics of Shayton. And the brother was disgraced everywhere, and the people in the community, they gathered together and they passed their judgments on the brother. But Shayton has not stopped. There's still one more thing that Shayton needs to achieve, and that is the ultimate goal. And the ultimate goal is to make sure that he takes the brother to Jahannam completely without having any opportunity for Allah's forgiveness. And they tied the brother on the rope. And Shayton came to the brother while he was tied on the rope, waiting to be executed. And he came to the brother and he said, do you know that I was responsible for this? I was. And the brother exclaimed and felt, so you are responsible for all these things. And he said, but then I still have a way around it for you. If at the end of the day, you do what I tell you to do, then you can go to some other place. I will save you from this, your predicament. You can go to some other places. You can go there and start again and seek for repentance from Allah. Allah will forgive you of your misdoings, and you will not commit all these kind of atrocities again. And he said, what do you want me to do if you really want to save me? Shayton told him that I can save you. The only thing I just want you to do for me is to prostrate for me. He said, no, I cannot prostrate for you because I'm tied to the tree. He said, no, you don't need to use your head to prostrate. Just signal your head like this to prostrate to me. And that particular signal like this will indicate that you are prostrating to me. And once you do that, I'm going to save you from your predicament. And eventually, the brother, out of desperation, thinking that if he's saved, he can go back to live a new life, start a new dawah, seek for Allah's repentance and things like that. And out of desperation, he did like this to Shayton. And the moment he prostrated to Shayton, Shayton waved to him, and he said, Inni akhafullaha rabbal alamin. Inni bari'un mink, I'm free of you because I fear Allah, the Lord of the world. And Shayton left him to his predicament, and eventually the brother came and he was executed. If we look at this particular story, we'll discover that, number one, Shayton exploited the weakness of that brother. Number two, Shayton was not in a hurry. He was taking his steps one point at the other. And number three, all those things that people think that are very, very good, that people see to be very good, to be okay, to be very, very good. Shayton eventually came on board and exploited it, which was exploited it to the detriment of the people in question. I give you a typical example. It's just a typical scenario that happens on a day-to-day basis. A brother came to us some time ago and he said, I was driving in a traffic. I was driving at some point and I saw some people laid across the street. And he said, often, most of the time, when I drive around, I try to see if I can help one or two people on the street to see if I can help them and drive them to their destination. And the people he looks for most of the time are pregnant women or people carrying babies, and he just tries as much as possible to help them. Because he was able to understand the antics of Shayton. He said there was a day he was driving down and he was about to park beside a lady to help the lady to drive the lady down. He said he saw that the lady was very, very tired. But the moment he was about to pick the lady, he said, and I looked at the lady and I became seriously attracted to the lady. I said, oh, I want to be like, this is my weakness. And he drove off and never wait for that particular lady in question. People blamed him, but he said, because I understand where Shayton can come on board to be able to destroy people's action. And this particular story is the story of someone that was able to fall into the antics of Shayton. And the scholar again, Abdullah ibn Umar, narrated another story of a monk that was living during the time of Prophet Isa alayhi salatu wasalam, that Shayton has tried everything he could to be able to destroy the actions of the brother. But the brother, because he understood the way Shayton works, he refused, and until eventually Shayton came with the image of Prophet Isa alayhi salatu wasalam, and the brother said, even if you are Prophet Isa alayhi salatu wasalam, you have told me to be doing what I'm doing, so just go away, I have nothing to do with you. And inshallah, next series, we shall be able to explain to us the remedies to the antics of Shayton. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.